Okay, I am going to create an abstract class here and explain how the abstract class can be created and why do we need to have an abstract class. So we go to new project, new, the project name, and then we click finish. Okay, here we have the project file with the main function in it. You can delete the comments. Okay, to create an abstract class, we just need to use the keyword abstract. I'm going to create a class shape, right? Now the reason to create a shape class is that the shape is a very generic term. Now when we say shape, we have no idea how the shape looks like. So we can have some general methods and properties related to shape in this abstract class. So let's say, for example, if we talk about shape, what are the basic characteristics of a shape? Shape must have some area. Shape means a closed shape, right? So if you have a closed shape, it means there must be some area to it, right? So we can say, we can create a variable area. Second, it can have a color also, and it can also have a name like circle, rectangle, whatever. Now these are the variables that we are going to use in this class. Second thing, we need to have methods here. A class can be abstract without having any abstract methods, but the main idea of this tutorial is to show you how to create abstract methods. Now abstract method is a method that does not have a body. There is no implementation of that method in this class, in the abstract class. So if you want a method not to have a body, we need to declare it as abstract also. Now the method that I am going to create is calculate area, which means every shape has some area, right? So we need to calculate it, and all different shapes, they have different ways of calculating the area. So let's say right now this is the, you can say, the declaration of the method, but there is no implementation of it, right? Okay, we missed something here. This is what it is going to return. When we call this method calculate area, it should return the area as double. Now this is the first part that we have. We have an abstract class. I can have more than one abstract method in this class. It depends on how you try to create the class. What are the other methods that should be here? Now second point here, how to implement this abstract class. So again, we just need to use the keyword class, and we can say, let's say circle. And now to use this abstract class, I need to extend it, right? It means it is inherited here. So I use the keyword extends and shape. Now this is circle. Now you can see that circle has a different formula for the calculation of the area. Rectangle might have different, triangle has different. So here we have circle. Now what are the other properties, characteristics, or let's say variables that should be there in the circle class, which are not there in other classes? The first one, I will say, it's radius, that is specific for a circle, right? And then one more thing we have here, that is the circumference of the circle, right? We can have a variable here, let's say perimeter, and we can use that perimeter for circle also and call it as circumference, but we will leave it here as it is. Okay, now I need to implement this method in the class that extends shape. Now what do we have to do here is, we don't want the keyword abstract, and I can do the calculation here. But before I can do the calculation, I need to have some value in the variable radius, which I don't have at that time. So what I can do here, I can create the constructor of this class, and we can pass some arguments to it, right? So let's say the first argument is name. Now you know that when you extend a class, you can use the variables that are there in the parent class. Okay, so I'm using the variable name from the parent class, then I can use the color also, and then I'm going to use the radius that is in this class. And here I just need to, this is the parent class variable equal to this class, the parameter that we passed, and then we have the radius for this class. So now we have set all the three values. Now we need to calculate the area. So here we have used return here, we have used the double as a return value, so I need to use the keyword return, and here we can use the formula for calculating area of a circle, which is pi r squared. So I need to use the pi, which I can get it from the math class, right? And then I need to have radius square. So again I can simply say here radius into radius. I can use the other functions for multiplying these values, the power function, but this is okay with this. Now this class is complete, but you can see we have one warning or error here which is telling us something. It says add override annotation. Here it means I have the method here. Now you know that whenever you try to implement a method that is already there in the parent class into the child class, it must be overridden. This is called overriding, right? So when you override a method, you need to use the keyword override, add override annotation. You can see we have the keyword above this method, because we are trying to override this method which is already there in the parent class in the abstract class, right? So now this is complete. The abstract class and the extended class, both of them are complete. Now let's see how we can implement this in our main method. So I can say here circle. Okay, the first one is the name. So the name is circle, then the color is, let's say, yellow, and the radius, let's say it's 3. So now here we have our object. Now here you can see it is returning this double, so I can use this one here directly in system.out.println. So I can say here area of the circle is, and here I can come and write c1 dot calculate area. Now let us run this and see. You can press Ctrl F5 to run the project. You can see it says area of the circle is so and so, right? So it is calculating the area without any problem. So here you have the abstract class with the keyword abstract. You need to have, if you want to have abstract methods, you can write abstract before the method declaration. Then you need to override that method in the extended class also with the keyword override on top of it. The implementation, whatever implementation you have, you can put it here. Okay, now I'm going to add some more methods to this program. In fact, first I will try to add one more class. The first one that we have here is the circle class. Let's add one more which can be a rectangle class. Okay, now a rectangle, we know that rectangle also has some extra properties, like let's say the first one can be we can say width and height, or we can say width and let's say length. Now these are the two properties that the rectangle will have. Rectangle also has area, rectangle also has color, and rectangle also has name. So those properties are there in the shape class. And when we create the object of rectangle class, we can pass the values. Okay, here we can have the same parameter that we had there. Let's say the first one can be the name, then we can have the color also, then we can have width and let's say length. So I can say name is equal to n Okay, now we have our rectangle constructor. Now we need the calculate area method also, and this time it's width times length, that calculates the area. Okay, let us create one object of this and see. Okay, what is this? Okay, what problem do we have here? Yeah, we have one extra comma there at the wrong place. Okay, now we have the rectangle class also. Let's try to create one. For the name we can say rectangle, color we can say red, and let's say we have width and here we can say area of the rectangle is r1 dot calculate area. So we run this, you can see area of rectangle is 12, 4 3s are 12, right? Now Up to this point you can see that very easily we are able to call the calculate area, and the way we are passing the values through the constructor while creating the object. But we have some more things in these classes, like we want the name, the color to be printed also with the area. We are only printing the area. We did not even write any method to calculate the circumference, right? So we can do that also. So what we need to do, let's say we just create one display method, like here I can create it, or we can have an abstract method which is display, right? Display displays everything. Okay, so I can come on. Now if I don't implement this method, you can see here it gives me one error here. You can say circle is not abstract and does not override abstract method display. It means if I don't want to implement the abstract method, I can make this class as an abstract also. It means if this class becomes abstract, I cannot create the object, and then I need to create one more class which is going to extend this class, which is going to implement these methods. So I'm going to implement that method here, and this method is going to display everything, right? So we don't need the, we want this to be void, right? And this method is also overridden, so we need to have the override thing here. So what I can do here actually is I can say, now this is what, this is circle, right? Or I can say this, or let's say we put the name here directly, right? We can do something like that. So instead of doing that, I can say here this plus name plus this circle, let's say has an area of plus area, and let's say I can do one more thing. I can come and write here \n, which is going to take this to the next line, right? So we have this here area, and I can say the color is okay. Now this circle has an area of, and the color is this, right? This is up to this point. Now we did not create any method for circumference, so I can create a method for circumference also, and I can call it, let's say, let us make it void. Circumference is equal to 2 into pi and into radius, right? So here I can say one more thing, the circumference is, right? So we have a display method which looks something like this. Now this is overridden. I need to override this method in the rectangle class also. So I can simply copy paste it here and then do the changes, right? Up to this point it is okay, right? So we don't need this all. We just need it up to the so we have this here. Now let's see, this is a method which is display. So I can come here and say, let us block this one and let us block this one also. So here I just say c1 dot display, and the same I will do here, r1 dot display. So let us look at it. This is circle, has an area of, okay, we did not do the calculation, right? Okay, yeah, we need to call the method calculate also. Like here we have done it. We need to call this so that it calculates the area, and also we need to call now calculate circumference. Similarly here we need to calculate area, right? Now we run this and see what it says. This is circle, has an area of 0 again. Let's see what is the mistake here. Calculate area, c1 dot display. Oh, sorry. Now this one, the calculate area method that we have put here, it is returning a value, right? So we don't need to do this. We can make this one as void, because we are trying to pass the value into the variable area, right? So we don't need to have this as double. We can simply say void, and here we need to, and instead of return we need to say area is equal to this, right? And the same we will do it here in the rectangle class also. We have void, and this one we can say area is equal to this, right? So now the area should be calculated, and calculate area, so it just calculates and moves it to the variable area. So now let's see what it does. Okay, now you can see it calculated the area as this, and the color is yellow. The circumference is this. This is this rectangle. Okay, this is rectangle, has an area of 12 and color is red, right? So this way we have our complete class with abstract class, circle class, and the rectangle class, right? So I'm just going to repeat what I have done here. I created a class shape which is abstract. These are the values that you need to have, or properties you can have in your abstract class that are common to all the, for this case, for all the shapes. This one, all the shapes should have area, color, and name. Then declared two abstract methods, meaning that it doesn't have the body, calculate area and display. Now we extended the shape class. In circle we have radius, circumference as the variables for a circle class, specific to circle class. Then in the constructor we try to pass free arguments, so that when we create the object of circle class, at that point we are going to pass these arguments, and then we move them to the variables that are in circle class and in the shape class. This method is overridden calculate area, where we calculate the area, and this one also, no, this one is specific to this method is specific to the circle class, right? It means we will have an error here also. Yes. Okay, we calculated the circumference, then we created a method display we overrid the method display, and we try to print all these details. Then we have rectangle class, and we did the same thing. While creating the object of rectangle class, we passed all these arguments. Then we calculated the area, and in the display we displayed all the details. So these are just the basics of creating an abstract class.